Let's Talk Books, the official podcast of BookExpo America, BEA. On this episode, we visit with Brad Jonas of Powell's bookstore in Chicago. So what makes Powell's unique?
Well, I think some of it is a reflection of the community. This is a very funny academic community. We're interested in serious books, and it is something of a reflection of the University of Chicago. But also, I think what a used bookstore can do, it doesn't have to be as worried about what's popular today. And what's interesting is what's popular last year sometimes comes back. And so used books really can bridge some of the time issues about all of these issues in the publishing world.
So I wouldn't find any cat books here?
We've gotten smarter about that because it used to be we were too haughty and just, we wanted everything to be a little bit too scholarly. And now we're interested, there are scholars and regular people who like cats. And so, actually we're much more of a dog store than a cat store, but that's the same thing.
But we're having fun here still.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit how you are embracing the community. I mean, I know that you're at a unique location here with the university, as you just mentioned. What are some of the things that you have found enjoyable and successful in embracing the community?
Well, I think what's interesting is the community keeps changing, and we're getting a little bit better at times, and sometimes we have a lot of work to do to embrace the community. And so, it used to be, and this is not just about our community, but about bookstores in general, that people used to kind of fall in and they were here. We'd have people who were here for 2, 3, 5 hours, and we'd see them every day. And that doesn't happen as much anymore. I think the world, the electronic world, the internet and Kindles and other things have made walking into stores different, and that you can do such a good job selling on the internet. And there's a lot of great stuff that happens that way. We have to reinvent ways to get people in the door. But I think our best reaching out has been having the quality material on the shelves, and then the customer buys it and brags to their buddy who bought something, across the world on the internet, but isn't as happy with their book as what they got just down the street at our store.
You mentioned e-services to purchase books in the physical sense, and obviously digital books.
Exactly.
Are those, do you feel, are the biggest challenges you face here with the physical store?
There's so many different things going on. It's unclear. And another part of that same issue is people who used to read to get all their information now might use the electronics in a different way. And it's not reading in a book form. They're reading articles. And that's exciting, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not, and that's one of the things which I think booksellers have made mistakes about. It's not good or bad. There are a lot of good things. There are a lot of different directions to pull this stuff together. But it is a challenge, and it has been a challenge that people can buy books from across the world. So we're having to compete in a different way. But there's also something exciting about that.
Gene mentioned there's a good Barack Obama story that you tell. Would you like to share that with us?
I'm happy to. Barack Obama was our state rep, and when no one really had heard of him, I was lucky enough to meet him at an event that was basically at my daughter's 4th grade class, and we spoke for half an hour, and then a year later, he still remembered my name, and I thought, this is a guy who's going to go somewhere. He can pay attention to things. So he had a book called Dreams of My Father, which was being remaindered. I was the Kodansha paperback copy of it, and I just loved this guy. So we bought 4,000 copies of it for 22 cents a piece because, we thought we'd sell it in the community forever. And we weren't planning that we'd make any money on it, but it was just, I really liked this guy. So every time he ran for office, I would say, can I donate some books to the campaign? And he said to me that, no, we have to pay for them. That's not appropriate. Just charge us whatever you paid for it. And I was embarrassed to tell him I only paid 22 cents. So I told him we paid $1, and whether he knows it or not, I would then contribute the other money back into the campaign in different ways. But so over the years, we were able to get through the books that way. So, and when he was having his speech in the Boston convention, they were out of stock. There was no copies available. So the campaign was directing CNN and all these other people to us to get the books out to them. The only second part of that is years later when he came up with his second book, I stood in line to get an autographed copy of it down the street at 57th Street Books, which is another great store in the neighborhood. And when I got up there, he stood up and shook my hand, and he turned to his handlers at Random House and said, "This is the guy who bought the remainder of my first book." And they all looked quite aghast that you used that word.
That's great. So you're on a deserted island. You have to take one book. And what book would that be, and why?
Well, I think it would be something like Joyce's Ulysses, something that I have always known that smart people should read. I'm not that smart, and I've never been able to get through it right away. So I think on this desert island, I'd have plenty of time to maybe take it apart. So it'd be something like Ulysses, whether it's that one or not.
And just complete the sentence. I read because?
I read as a way to travel throughout time and space in a way that you can't do economically and just by physics, that you can experience much of the rest of the world, and you can be corresponding and discussing with some of the great thinkers of the world, but also having fun and joking with some of the most interesting people of the world.
Let's Talk Books is a production of BookExpo America, BEA, the leading book and author event for the North American publishing industry. Join us in Chicago for BEA 2016, May 11th through 13th at McCormick Place. For more information on this episode in BEA, visit bookexpoamerica.com.